This weekend I had to buy a new dishwasher because our old GE died. I bought a Bosch 500 series because that's what Consumer Reports recommended, and more importantly, I could find one in stock. After my dad and I got it installed, I went to run a rinse cycle only to find that, along with features like delayed start and eco mode, require an app. Not only that, to use the app, you have to connect your dishwasher to Wi-Fi, set up a cloud account in something called Home Connect, and then, and only then, can you start using all the features on the dishwasher. So getting back first to that old GE dishwasher, it was, I don't know, I think that planned obsolescence is something that applies to many pieces of technology today, where a company knows, if we design this to last 5 or 10 years, that means in 5 or 10 years, someone's going to have to buy a whole new one. And on this one, it was starting to have weird power issues, like the controls would just not light up. I would go downstairs, turn off the breaker, turn it back on, and they'd light up, and I was happy. But that started happening more often, and then on Saturday, it just wouldn't come back. I even took out all the power connections inside. I went underneath it and everything, reconnected it all to make sure it had completely reset, and still nothing. So it was dead. Like, can I get a control board? It would be a week or two, and it would cost $200. The whole dishwasher cost $500. So, $200 plus probably 4 to 6 hours taking apart the whole dishwasher and not knowing that was the problem or not. And even with that, the front panel had a couple rusty spots on it that where the hinges were. So I know the hinges inside were rusting and getting rust out onto the front of it. So because I couldn't get the power back on, and it was Saturday night, I was like, we have a family with 5 kids in it. We cannot just not have a dishwasher. We can't just sit there and spend an hour and a half, my wife and I. It's great to do it once, but it's not fun to wash all your dishes for an hour and a half every single night of the year. Not to mention how much water that uses. So I needed to get a new one, and it's really hard to do it during the middle of the week. So I did some research, and I found, Bosch seemed to have the best bet for under $1,000. That was kind of the ceiling of our budget. But Consumer Reports said that these Bosch units, especially the Signature or whatever, but also this 500 series unit, was basically the best. Everybody loved it. It was great. And I remembered 5 or 10 years ago, whenever I had bought the last one, I saw Bosch was great, but it was like $300 more, so I didn't buy that one. And I was like, okay, I'll spend a little bit more, get a better dishwasher. It'll be a great experience. And the installation was actually great. Like it was a lot easier to install the Bosch than it was the GE. It has kind of a plastic base that slides better on the floor. It has a lot of nice features for the install that make it easier to route things. The one weird thing was whoever tightened the feet on the bottom must have had an impact driver or something, because they were embedded. I was turning the little thing to put the foot down, and it slipped out. The little gear clutch thing on it slipped out, so I had to go back and wiggle it and use it. I had to go buy another tool. This was only a three hardware store run installation, which is pretty good for me. But I had to buy a tool to get it to break out of its place so that I could lower the foot down to level it. But anyway, the install was fine, and we turned it on. My dad and I turned it on, and I immediately hated the new touch sensor stuff on it. The old one we had buttons. You press them in, they click, and you know that you pressed a button. The touch sensor, you kind of touch it, and the firmware, this new dishwasher actually takes time to boot up. I had to reset it 3 times, and my wife, meanwhile, was laughing at me, look at this guy who does tech stuff, and he can't even figure out how to change the cycle on it. That took about 5 minutes, sadly. But eventually I pulled out this book because I was like, this is confusing. It should be I should touch the button and it should change to that mode, but that was not how it was working. So that's when I found we wanted to run just a rinse cycle to make sure the water would go in, the water would pump out through the sump, and everything would be working. But I could not find a way to do a rinse cycle on the control panel. So I looked in this book and found this page. This page shows that the rinse cycle has an asterisk. The asterisk, if you look down at the bottom, says available through Home Connect app only and depending on your model. So the model that I have is not the premium model with the screen on it. So a lot of the settings like delayed start, the rinse cycle, the machine cleaning cycle, half load cycle where it just does a very short cycle, eco, which takes a little longer, but it actually slows down kind of a lot of things to use less energy. The delay start, all those things are hidden behind this app. And I was like, okay, well, I'll look up this app and see if I can just download the app and use it over Bluetooth or locally or whatever. No, to use the app, you have to connect your dishwasher to your Wi-Fi, which lets the dishwasher reach out on the internet to this Home Connect service. You have to set up an account on Home Connect, and then you set up the app on your phone, and then you can control your dishwasher through the internet to run a rinse cycle. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes zero sense why you would want to default to this. An app, I can get it, okay? Simplify your control panel, save a little cost on building that thing. You don't have to have physical buttons and stuff. Apps can be nice. It'd especially be nice if I could see there's a notification locally that my dishwasher is finished, or I can check on how many minutes are remaining without having to go look at the dishwasher. That's kind of cool. That's fine. Give me an app for that. But let me do it locally. Why can't I just have it local on my network? I don't ever want to create an account for a dishwasher. I want to put dishes in the dishwasher, clean them, and then take them out. I don't want to have a cloud account for that. That seems ridiculous. So what can I do? Well, first of all, I could just not use those features. That's kind of annoying because I bought it with the assumption that I could run the cleaning cycle, that I could run the rinse cycle without having to have an app and Wi-Fi. That seems like a dumb thing to me. Another option is I could just connect it to my Wi-Fi. But it seems stupid for a dishwasher. It's a dishwasher. It's not, I can understand for a video doorbell, you might have a cloud service where the video doorbell gets footage. You might be on vacation somewhere. Somebody rings the doorbell. You want to see that, is it somebody dropping off a package so you can call your neighbor and have him pick it up? Or is it like a robber or whatever? I get that, okay? Video doorbell, maybe I can understand having it on Wi-Fi so that it can connect to a cloud service to give you that convenience. A dishwasher, I'm not going to remote control my dishwasher and run a rinse cycle while I'm on vacation or something. I don't need internet on my dishwasher. Another option is somebody has reverse engineered this protocol, and they made a thing called HCPY, Home Connect Python. It's a Python library. Here's the problem. I already spent 4 hours getting this thing installed into my kitchen, and we just want to run different rinse cycles and wash cycles and things. I don't want to spend another 4 to 6 hours setting up an integration with something just so that I can set up my own app or my own little web interface for this thing. I don't want to have to maintain that. I don't want to have to take the security of that on. I might. It's so dumb that I might do that. But here's why I think this is so dumb. Here's why I don't think we should let vendors get away with this stuff. First, it lets your product designers get lazy. So a feature like a little display, a little 7-segment display that can show two letters and a number of minutes remaining or something like that. How much does that cost? How hard is it to integrate that into every model, even the cheap ones? A lot of cheap ones actually have those things, but not the Bosches. The Bosches, you have to pay a lot of money to get that little display in the middle. So, don't be lazy. Just give us a couple extra buttons. Give us a little display. Don't make me pay $200 for a 30-cent little 7-segment display. Second, this might be a little bit conspiracy theory or whatever, but it feels like it's part of planned obsolescence. Just like with the GE, a lot of parts are designed to rust out after 5 or 10 years. If you have a cloud app, that means there's a cloud service that has to be running that costs money to maintain. And if there's no subscription fee right now, that means one of two things. One, they could be selling our data already. I didn't look at the full terms of service or anything, so I don't know if they already are. But that's one possibility. The other one is at some point they'll either close the service because it's a cost center that they don't want to pay for, and it costs maintenance once you have 1 million users using this thing. Or two, they're going to charge a subscription. And all of a sudden, if you want to use rinse mode, it's going to be $5 a month forever. That's insane. That's stupid. That's so dumb. And third, it's a security hole in your local network. Okay, Bosch might be a little bit better than some no-name light bulb company making IoT light bulbs on Amazon or something, but only a little bit. I don't trust an appliance maker more than I trust even Google or Apple or something. I don't want to have Bosch having full internet access on my local network. Their API would be able to talk back to my dishwasher. The dishwasher, unless I put it on a VLAN, which 99% of consumers have no clue how to do that. That's just something that shouldn't have to happen. This is a dishwasher. I don't know. A lot of people said, okay, return it. It's I spent 4 hours installing this thing built into my kitchen. I hooked it up to the water. It's running through cycles. It is working. I'll give them that. It does the normal stuff, but there are some features that don't work without the app. That's just, it seems ridiculous to me. At a minimum, I think what Bosch should do is make it so that the dishwasher can be accessed locally with no requirement for a cloud account. Anyone building an IoT device, first local, then cloud. Cloud should be an add-on. It should be a convenience for people who don't know how to do things like connect to their dishwasher with an app locally. And it's not that hard. A little ESP32, a little $1 chip that you can put in there could do all this stuff locally with no cloud requirement at all. I think that there might be some quants or some people who want to make a lot of money building all these cloud services. I don't think that it's people who are consumer first and consumer focused. Because if they were, they would give us control first and then give them the ability to have additional features. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm so angry at this dishwasher. It was so sad because the install was actually quite nice, and then to be let down by the first time using it. I don't know. I don't know if I can recommend the Bosch 500 series.